LA Knight and The Miz are must-see TV. If you watched this past episode of Monday Night Raw, you obviously saw the promo battle between LA Knight and The Miz. I mean, it's what the kids call these days cinema.
What is it that you kids call it, cinema?
This promo battle only really lasted about 5 to 6 minutes, and I feel like we got a month worth of build in this promo already. It was definitely one of the best promos that I've heard from any WWE superstar in a very, very long time. And believe it or not, I actually think The Miz won that promo battle.
Oh, wow! Wow! Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me. Joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
I'm going to.
We were really starting to see glimpses of talking smack Miz back in when he was the IC champion and he was feuding with Daniel Bryan. I just felt the raw emotion from The Miz. I felt like he was sharing his frustration on the mic, talking about how he's pretty much been used as a stepping stone for the past 6 to 7 months. I mean, this guy lost 2 nights in a row at WrestleMania, one of them being to Snoop Dogg, which is why I think that this feud that we're about to see is perfect for both of these guys. This feud is putting The Miz in the spotlight again. He is able to show off his talent and show the WWE Universe that he is not a stepping stone. Like he said in that promo, he is not a stepping stone. Obviously, in this case, he's going to put LA Knight over, but he's not going to make it easy. Amount of star power that LA Knight has right now, just the amount of eyes that are on this feud right now, I feel like it's perfect for The Miz to really show what he's capable of. This is a great way to incorporate LA Knight back into TV also. I don't want to see him wrestle top dollar every week. And I was really real.
I can tell you how I feel, and that's really real.
This is the perfect opportunity for LA Knight to really prove what he's about, to prove to management, to prove to the WWE Universe, and to prove to himself that these past 20 years has not been a mistake. The decisions that he has made in the past 20 years have led up all to this moment for him to succeed in this company. But I think the thing that really stood out to me during this promo was that LA Knight called The Miz safe, and The Miz ended up saying he was cosplaying as an Attitude Era fanboy. Both very, very heavy criticisms on both of these characters, and they used it to their advantage. So what's next? Where do we go from here? LA Knight deserves to take the championship from Seth Rollins. I feel like he, right now, is a bigger babyface than Seth Rollins, which is really the only reason why I see him as champion right now. Obviously, he's a very good veteran, and for the past couple years, he's been putting on some amazing matches with the likes of Cody Rhodes, Edge, and, I mean, personally, I really enjoyed his match that he had at Backlash with Omos. Omos Sapiens, stand up. I feel like it's time to start thinking about people who could take that championship, and I think it's LA Knight's time. So in today's video, I'm going to be booking Seth Rollins versus LA Knight for the World Heavyweight Championship. For the sake of this booking, we're going to be pushing ahead a little bit, and we're going to be pushing up until about October. Now, if my guess is correct, I would assume at this point we would be at Extreme Rules. That's probably the pay-per-view that we're looking at. Extreme Rules. But the big pay-per-view, obviously, in that time period is Survivor Series. And Survivor Series could either take place in November, December. It's kind of a toss-up, but for the sake of this story, that's my timeline. And we'll say around September to early October is when LA Knight ultimately ends the feud with The Miz. Extreme Rules. One of the co-main events would be Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth frickin' Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Seth Rollins would ultimately win this. The Monday night after that pay-per-view, Seth Rollins would go to open up Monday Night Raw and go on to have the crowd sing his song, and he would go on to just say how he defeated Shinsuke Nakamura when all of a sudden you hear LA Knight's theme song. LA Knight would come out, and he would go on to challenge Seth Rollins to a match at Survivor Series. I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach to this. I feel like it would be interesting to see these two guys go up against each other both as faces, just because I feel like these are the two biggest baby faces in the WWE at the current moment. They go through the whole cadence and they get to Survivor Series. Nothing really special happens. LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. Ultimately, LA Knight winning the World Heavyweight Championship. But during the process, LA Knight gets injured. In kayfabe, not actually. And he's celebrating. There's confetti everywhere. And it's this whole big thing. It would probably be the main event because I would figure Roman Reigns and Jey Uso would go up against each other in like a Survivor Series tag elimination match. I could be wrong. Just for the sake of this, let's just say that's happening. And everybody's so happy. They're celebrating. LA Knight's doing his LA Knight. The crowd's going wild. And then you hear the Judgment Day come out. Damian Priest is going to cash in his Money in the Bank. And he would ultimately go on to successfully cash in and take the title from LA Knight, which would then set up the feud of LA Knight versus the Judgment Day, specifically Damian Priest. And this feud would likely last up until WrestleMania. Not just because he lost, I don't think he deserves to be fighting for the title right away again. So I feel like it's right for him to feud with the other members of the Judgment Day, or what's left of the Judgment Day at this point, if Finn Balor's still in the group. But it would ultimately get to a point where we reach the Royal Rumble, and LA Knight would get pretty far in the Royal Rumble, but he would not win. And then this is where the build for the rematch starts. For the past month, or the past couple months since he's lost that championship, he's gone on to say multiple times that he never lost the championship. He never had a fair opportunity to defend his championship. So he feels like he's inclined for a rematch. And I feel like the story there would be that the Judgment Day wouldn't give him that rematch up until maybe like a week or 2 weeks before WrestleMania. Almost like how we saw with Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio with their match. I mean, that match was announced a week prior to WrestleMania. I feel like a lot of the promos could be really cool. I feel like at this point they would have to find a way to slowly break up the Judgment Day either after or a little before this happens, with Finn Balor obviously being the one who leaves. Or maybe that's a story right there. Maybe Finn decides to turn on the Judgment Day because Damian Priest won the championship. Finn Balor being Finn Balor, he doesn't take answers from anybody. He felt like he was the leader of that group, and when everybody decided to shift their loyalty to Damian Priest, he left. And this would end up sidelining Finn Balor, and Finn Balor would not be on TV up until WrestleMania when they have their match. We would get a very cool return and see Finn Balor return, and he would ultimately cost Damian Priest the match and have LA Knight win the championship. The championship he never lost, or the championship he never defended fairly. And then that would set up Finn Balor versus Damian Priest for the next couple months. I know at the beginning of this video I went on a little bit of a tangent, but I really did just want to share my thoughts and feelings towards that feud that LA Knight and The Miz are having right now. I feel like it's setting up something a lot bigger than what's actually happening. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if you liked, commented, and subscribed. It helps the channel out a lot, and I appreciate your viewership. I would also just like to say thank you for the people who made it this far into the video. If you did, how about you comment what you think of this booking and how you would book it any differently. If you're interested in watching any more of my content, click this video right here, where I go on to talk about who is going to dethrone Roman Reigns. And that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a good day. But until next time, peace.